Page 62. This is the first one on that page called Study. First term at the piano, whatever it is. In the text up above at the top of the page, you can read all about that and have fun and go through all that if you want to. Just have a ball, knock yourself out. That's wonderful. They're using the word exercises. Play these exercises. Yuck. Some people love exercises. I don't. Never have, probably never will. So I don't use that word too much. I could call them studies, a study or an etude, same difference. I could call them short pieces of music, something that's not so ugly as exercise, unless you love to exercise, in which case, by all means, they're exercises, I suppose. But I'm not treating them so much as exercises. I'm treating them as pieces of music, and I want to learn to play them correctly. That is, I put in all the articulation and dynamics and the whole bit. Play them musically. Try and interpret them a little bit and see what I can do with them. Generally, with an exercise, I'm just playing note, 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 note. Yeah. So let's look at study and see what we get. I'm just going to go through the process I use for learning a piece of music and let it take me where I need to go. Now, if you want to sight read these, then you would do all the steps I'm about to do all at the same time. You sit down and you perform it at sight. So you do the dynamics and the articulation and the notes and the rhythm and fingering and everything. Fingering is a problem right now because we're not moving around yet. I'm going to pretend we're actually going to learn it. So I'm going to go through the steps that I go through. I look this over. I see it's 3 lines long. I like to have an idea of about how long it is. The clef signs, always check them because they don't have to be treble and bass clef. They are here, and they will be for a while, I'm sure. The key signature, there are no sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. And 4/4 time signature. See, this is where I would normally tell you, go do the scale for C major. In my other videos, and I'm doing other lessons and this kind of thing, that's where I would say do that. You do the scale in the key of the piece you're working on. They haven't got the scales in here yet because probably since you're not really majoring in the piano or really getting into the piano, they don't bother with the scales yet. But I think scales are great as far as understanding keys, key signatures and things. I'll leave that between you and your teacher. So I won't push scales too much until the book does. But in my opinion, you should be doing them. Now, the hands are actually playing the same note names. They're just using different fingers. So to shorten this video, I'm going to take it both hands together. Although normally I do one hand at a time first and then put them together. So the right hand starts here. So we're in this C position. And the left hand is here. And we're in this C position. So we're here. And this is the same note names. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go through and I play the whole thing through. And I connect everything at first. Then I go back over it slowly and carefully and get rid of the hesitations. And since we're not moving around, you should be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. You need to learn to remember which key each finger is on. Just, you may have to look down occasionally, but otherwise remember it. Another way of doing it is to follow the patterns in the music. The music is going, you see it goes up a second at a time. You just go up a second on the keyboard. Then down, then up, down. So I can follow the pattern, the flow of the music in the music, and make music. Follow the flow of the notes in the music. I just follow that same pattern on the keyboard is another way of approaching it. The safest way is to know the name of the note and match the note with what you're doing. You can always rely on that. Now once I have the notes and the rhythms and fingering okay, then I'll add the articulation. And here we have the phrasing. We're going to lift up between the phrases. It's marked in both staves, so we're going to lift both hands. If the bottom hand didn't have the phrasing, I'd play the bottom hand connected all the way through. But since it does that, we're going to lift up. It's like taking a breath. So in the third measure and the half notes, lift up. Right. Taking a breath. You can actually breathe there too. A lot of musicians, pianists will breathe where it does that. I do sometimes and I don't. So you put in the articulation. So forth. That's the only articulation they're giving. Then the dynamics, F is forte, and that's the only dynamic they give. There's a couple ways of interpreting this. You keep it simple. You're going to play both hands the same. Both hands are loud, and you're going to have to decide what loud is. I can't. It's loud, but let the wrist collapse a little bit on this. Don't tense up. No, you're just kind of heavy. And then the speed. Moderato's in the middle, and again, it's a range. It's what do you feel in them? To me, that's walking, and you're headed someplace, but you're not in a hurry to get there, but you're going someplace. You're just walking. See the next to the last measure, a diminuendo and retardando. So you're going to get softer and slow down at the same time. How much softer you get, it's up to you. How much you slow down is up to you. It's interpretation. Speaking of interpretation, remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm exaggerating them so you can hear them better, but you feel these. As you're playing, you're feeling the music. Now, back to this interpretation thing. Dynamics. I can treat both hands as melodies since they're playing the same note. So they're both loud. Or I could treat one hand or the other as the melody and the other hand as harmony. Because you can have harmony be the same note in a different place. It can still be harmony. You can play harmony in octaves. So in that case, I could play the right hand loud and the left hand soft. Or maybe I want to pretend like the left hand is melody and the right hand is harmony up ahead, like a discount up here somewhere. Discant, not discount, but it's soft. I'm playing one hand heavy and one hand light. And as far as practicing goes, I would recommend you do both. Learn to get accustomed to one hand heavy and one hand light when you play piano. It just makes it so much more musical than when you're interpreting things that way. Now, there is a note at the bottom of this to transpose it to D major. Well, in theory, you can transpose it to any key. You're only using a 5-finger position, so you're just going to use the same fingers. So on these, I can think, go up a second, up a second, up a second, down a second. So I'm doing it by intervals here. Well, whenever you go to transpose, you just do the same thing. Let's go to D major. I'm here. I'm just thinking the interval. Start here, and then up a second, second. Just going up and down the interval that the music says. I could do it in any key. Let's go, what, A flat major here, 4 flats. Up a second, up a second, up a second, down a second. I can transpose it to any key. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be fun to try. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, though there's only louds. I can't slow down because the metronome won't slow down. I will lift up between the phrases, so I'll give us 4 counts. You should play the same note I'm playing when I'm playing it, and this is after you've learned it. Learn it first, and then check it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.